Good afternoon from Wet Texas. This is Dr. E doing a brief snippet of my new self-care webinar that's entitled Self-Care. It's counterintuitive to our culture and why it matters. That was the title. What is self-care? That's the big question. A lot of people think it's getting your nails done, getting your feet done, and doing something that's drudgery. However, it is not. It is any activity that we do intentionally in order to take care of our psychological, emotional, and physical health and wellness. Although it is a simple concept, in theory, it is oftentimes not implemented and overlooked. What self-care is not. Self-care is not any activity that is forced. It is not something that you do or you don't even enjoy. That's not self-care. Self-care really is about replenishing, refueling, reviving, and filling you back up again so that we can start and live life anew again. Okay, self-care is about exactly what I said, taking care of yourself. Developing further self-awareness. What is my body saying to me? Am I ignoring my gut warning or am I listening? Developing further self-understanding. Who are you? What are your goals? What do you like? What things fill you? What things satisfy you? What's the purpose of you? So self-care is really about developing further self-awareness and self-understanding. So you should be hearing a theme here about self, okay? So self-care, why it's counterintuitive of our culture is because we have messages that bombard us all day long that say, work harder, work longer hours. You're never going to get this finished. Achieve more, do more, purchase more. Why are you sitting down when there's something you could be doing? That is a form of laziness. And the biggest message I think that our culture tells us is that busyness equates to productiveness. However, these are all lies. Being in a constant state of doing is unhealthy, and it depletes you and me so that we are not operating at our most optimal level of functioning. Self-care is about nourishing, nurturing, compassionate, and it's the take a breath button that everybody deserves and needs. Self-care is mindfully and intentionally focusing on the wellness needs of your mind, body, and your soul. International Self-Care Foundation talks about 7 pillars of self-care. I'm just going to briefly list them here in the webinar. 1, knowledge and healthy literacy. 2, mental well-being, self-awareness. 3, physical activity. 4, healthy eating. 5, reduction and risk avoidance. 6, good hygiene. And 7, rational and reasonable use of products and services. Another message that our culture just constantly just pours out in all different situations and all different genres of media and publication says, if you don't take care of others above yourself, you are either arrogant, prideful, selfish, and basically not a quote unquote good human being. We give of ourselves excessively until there is no emotional, physical, or cognitive energy for ourselves. We push ourselves to emotional, physical, cognitive, psychological exhaustion. And then what we find is that we are frustrated, overwhelmed, annoyed, agitated, distressed, and empty. I would like to propose a different ideology and practice that enables and promotes both self-care and serving others. So I want you to picture a circle of your life sphere. And inside the circle, how culture has where we exist now and the messages that we hear, inside your sphere circle, it's others. And outside the sphere, at the very bottom, underneath the sphere, is you. And so you pour yourself out, you pour yourself out, you pour yourself out, you pour yourself out for others. However, as you see in this visual, is that you are on the outside of your sphere and there's no energy, there's no time, there's no desire, there's no motivation for you. So what I want you to do with the new ideology, the purpose, what I'm proposing is turning the circle upside down. Meaning others are not first. Instead, self-care is first. So now I want you to visualize your circle sphere of life. And inside of it is yourself. And toward the bottom, kind of middle, there's another circle that is connected inside and extends outside of your circle. That is others. This enables you and me. Once we begin to implement self-care, it enables us to be better equipped emotionally, physically, cognitively, psychologically to assist and serve others. Why? Because we are not empty. You can't give something that you don't have. If you are empty, you cannot give something to someone else that you do not possess. You may desire with all earnestness to want to help someone else, but if you are physically, psychologically, and emotionally empty, the effectiveness of you serving that other person is not going to be to either one's best interest. For example, here's an analogy I thought of. For instance, all airlines, when they explain, when they're going through their safety measures before we take off on the planes, they explain to passengers, in the event of a loss of cabin pressure, please secure your oxygen mask first before others. Before you help others, you need to help yourself. And the reason for that is because if the cabin pressure is lost and we are deprived of oxygen helping someone else, that could be risky of our lives. And so the same thing is about self-care, except for it's risky in another aspect of life because it really affects us emotionally, physically, psychologically, and can cause us to be in a level of distress that is unhealthy for us. Okay? Self-care is the permission to intentionally stop and take a breath. Self-care is the fuel that allows your light to shine brightly. Some ideas of self-care, and these are just a few, there's a lot, but the main thing to do with self-care is that it's something that you desire, something that you like, something that you enjoy. It won't be drudgery. It won't be just another legalistic box that we're checking. It is really something that is going to be filling and nurturing and bring you joy and laughter and revitalize you. So take a self-care trip. Begin journaling, doing a gratitude journal, adult coloring books, writing a book, reading a book, taking a bath. Things I tell clients all the time. We are meant to be in connection with other people. So fellowship with friends and family. Practice faith and spiritual practices. It's really, really important. Develop a healthy eating and sleeping regimen. We are really to get people that are in their 30s and up, we really are supposed to have 8 hours worth of sleep. I'm sure if I were to ask you, many of you probably get 5 or less. Okay, so there's something I want to close with that's really, really important. The essentials of self-care. There's 2 of them. You must develop and implement healthy boundaries. first you need to have boundaries, identify what they are, and implement them in your life. And the next thing, you must be able to develop the ability to say no. A lot of times we don't take care of ourselves is because we have agreed to do so many other things for other people. And that too is not healthy. What I'm saying is that we need a balance of healthy boundaries and the ability to know that Superwoman and Wonder Woman, though they're great, but they're cartoon characters. They're movie characters. They're comic books. They're not real. We're the human beings, and so we need to take charge of doing what's in our best interest, and that is what self-care is about. Okay, and so as I close out today, I want you to understand one last point, and then I have a challenge for you. More importantly, self-care is greater than activities and practices. Self-care is a lifestyle and a chosen state of being. You will always be with yourself and others. So why not intentionally choose a mindset and a lifestyle which enables you to live the desired life you want, as well as helping, blessing, and assisting other people. What are you going to choose? Because I can guarantee you, you're worth self-care. You have value and significance. Start to nourish you, because that will allow you to nurture others. So here's the self-care challenge. I actually do this challenge wherever I teach self-care or stress management or stress reduction or mindfulness. And the challenge is, I challenge you to set aside 1 hour, 60 minutes per day to practice and implement self-care for you. It's not for someone else, and it's all in one sitting. Okay, so 60 minutes blocked off just for you to practice self-care. I'm challenging you. Will you accept the challenge? You are worth practicing self-care. If you don't take care of you, who's going to? Until next time, Dr. E. Have a great day.